One of the things that obviously is we will transition to Luigi Mangione. One of the things that was
Luigi,
which was one of the big things in the state of California, was trying to push for CalCare. Now, obviously, that has been kneecapped 9 ways to Sunday. And of course, Governor Newsom had a heavy hand in that. I would imagine with everything that's going on right now, that being able to address as a candidate for governor, that you will make it your mission to pass single payer health care, I would think is going to go over very well with
literally. I mean, obviously, single payer health care is long overdue. You can do it in the state of California. In that aforementioned gubernatorial conversation, I won't even call it a debate, where the 4 Democratic candidates, they all essentially hemmed and hawed and talked about how they were generally in support, but not really making any kind of commitments. You're damn right we're going to get single payer if you vote me in as governor of California. And there's no question that we're going to run on the basis of it, because it's necessary and it's required. And it's one of the fundamental, I mean, don't get me started on Obama, but it's one of the huge disappointments, right, that Obama sold us out on. It wasn't just the foreign policy. It wasn't just the bombing Yemeni kids. It was also selling out on single payer, option, because people forget that essentially making this compromise with the corrupt insurance industry and the way that it now articulates with Obamacare is what has allowed them to reap these massive profits over the past, decade or so. And so, yeah, and watching the public response, to seeing a CEO get de-brained in downtown Manhattan, you understand just how completely fed up the American people are with this healthcare system that we have. I mean, 30 cents on every single healthcare dollar goes to a middleman rent-taking class that doesn't do anything. It's silly when we call them healthcare companies, because they do not provide healthcare. They are financial services industries is what they are, because they don't make care cheaper. They don't make care better. They don't make care faster. Their job is to take a cut off the top. And if we want to then go back to what I was saying earlier about how the Democrats are now so far to the right of Reagan, it was Reagan that gave us this nonsense. And now the Dems have literally perfected it, right? Privatize everything. So that now, instead of just having the state provide the service, you instead have a profit-taking private corporation insinuate itself between the service and the people, diminishing the quality of the good that is delivered so that they can draw a profit from it. And it's not just healthcare, right? Healthcare has been dramatized by the Luigi Mangione, assassination of Brian Thompson, but this is now the norm in the way that corporations engage. We got 401ks now instead of bonds. We've got all of these places where private corporations are taking a cut off of the top of things that are obviously public goods, and this should never be privatized. Don't even start talking about the prison industrial complex.
Big shout out to independent journalist Ken Klippenstein. He's been doing some really amazing work as of late. And of course, this little doozy, which should not surprise either of you, shouldn't surprise anybody in the audience, and frankly, it shouldn't surprise anybody in this country at this point. Luigi Mangione's judge is married to a former healthcare executive, because of course he is.
Of course he is.
Trial judge in case involving murder of United Health CEO Brian Thompson owns millions in stock, including pharma and healthcare. I mean, honestly, how do you get a fair trial, Jen?
I would
not recuse himself from the bench.
You would think after this he might have to. I mean, look. We have no care anywhere, either domestically or internationally, for rule of law. None. So things that are supposed to be, he'd have to recuse himself. You can't have a financial interest in that. But
it's actually she. And my
Yeah,
apologies.
she's married to the guy. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a picture of a man. I'm sorry, she.
Well,
Yeah.
yes. Well, Brett Parker is a former executive of Pfizer, because of course he is. Magistrate Judge Catherine H. Parker, who was overseeing pretrial hearings for Luigi Mangione, is married to a former Pfizer executive and holds hundreds of thousands of dollars in stock. And again, more than anything else, I think it's fair to say that the idea that we publicly trade on people's life and death is, I mean, come on, it's beyond inhumane. It's the end of empire. That's where we're at. And that's why this is why I think you're a very dangerous candidate and why you have to watch your back.
Clearly.
You can convey this message very eloquently that, with all due respect, a fairly affluent liberal from the Northeast, not referencing anybody, is not able to articulate in a way that will resonate with the masses.
Come on, man. Fairly affluent progressive, and then I'll let it.
Yeah, I just think it just has to do with perception.
Yeah.
Whether correct or not, that's just unfortunately how it goes, is the perception. And I've always said, like, Greens have a branding problem. It's not a policy problem; it's a branding problem.
It's more than that. I mean, if you don't mind me interrupting, so it is more than just the branding issue, and that's part of what I've said to different layers of the Green Party, state of California, coordinated campaign committee, national steering committee, is that we're the party that has the best platform for working people, but we're not a working people's party, right? As currently constituted, we're the party that has the best platform for Black liberation. Been running on reparations since 2012, but we're not a Black people's party. We have the best policies with regards to immigration, best policies for the Latin community more broadly, whatever immigration status, but we're not a Latin party at this point in time in terms of our constituencies. And what that means is that we have, it is a branding problem,
it's
but
marketing. I feel like it's marketing.
But it's an organizing problem.
Yeah.
So I'll name tag, a group that I have a lot of, love for. One Hood Media out of Pittsburgh, does a lot of, great, social media work, and also organizing work. And, they were like, Dr. Ware, we love your platform, love, the fact that you're, bringing, reparations in the conversation, Black liberation. Got to be honest with you, we ain't seen the Green Party around here, like in the hood in Pittsburgh. And that is a real criticism. It's a real critique. And if we don't take it seriously and build within communities, and that's also part of the rationale for running for governor, is that I have relationships in all of those urban communities that can now then be leveraged in order to build that kind of political organization. We have to make it into a working people's party. We have to make it into a party where Black folk feel at home. And I told this to Jason. Jason is managing the campaign and also managed the Stein Ware campaign. I said, listen, if you bring me on this ticket, you have to know that this is about to become the red, Black, and Green Party, that there is no way that we are, going to be, running on anything less than Black liberation as a fundamental part of the platform and the way that we present. So yeah, you're right, Pete. They should be afraid because this is not being delivered in with.
Can I just say the fact that you said it has to be the red, Black, and Green Party? Jen, please flash the earrings. I think
I've got these are my watermelon. I alternate, but these are watermelon. And I don't know if you know, but Jason calls a friend. He and I have known each other since 2019 when we were running for brand new Congress. So I've known him a really long time and I appreciate him in the fight for sure.